Okay, so today I'm going to talk about self-development and staying motivated. One of the hardest or the most challenging things that we have, whether you're in an office situation, in the restaurants, or for ourselves, is keeping people motivated or keeping ourselves motivated. So today, again, we're going to be talking about the specific stuff and how to be successful. So there's seven levels of execution. Okay, the first one is ignorance, which is obviously the lack of knowledge. Okay, so that's when you first come into a job. So you're just at the basics beginning. Okay, the second level is when you know, but you don't believe it. So your heart's not really into it yet. You kind of been trained on the job, but you're not really into it. You're not really there yet. And then the third is to know and you believe, but you don't do it. So you believe in what's going on. You know how to do it, but then again, you're just at a point that you're just not doing it. And then here's where it becomes interesting, is level 4, because you know and you believe, but you can't do it. So you need to learn more and develop. Okay? And this is the area that we're going to talk about today. But just to go into level 5, you know and you do it inconsistently. Okay? Level 6 is you know and you consistently do it through daily discipline. And then as the last one is just becomes habit. So this is where, in this level 4, this is where we lose employees or we lose the focus of our group. Again, whether you're in the restaurant or you're out in the field. So I always, my biggest mantra that I use is I say, are you a pond or are you a creek? Rebecca, right now, we'll use you as an example. You're a creek, okay? Because she's just coming into this new position. Things are rolling. It's new to her. A new franchise. The night before, they can't sleep. They're like, oh, I'm going to go in. I know I can run it. If they're buying a new restaurant, they'll tell you, I can make that restaurant 10 times better than that franchisee could ever think. I got ideas. And then as field consultants, we're out there and we're dealing with something maybe a year or 2 years later, and they're just at the point where they're just accepting the way things are running because they've gone into the pond mode. They've just gone stagnant. Our employees go stagnant. We interview them the first time. It's their first day. They're excited. They've got new things. They're meeting new people. They're learning new things, and then we get them stagnant. So again, our job is to keep the water flowing or to keep it a pond. So this may be what your employee looks like. And I also say that a person that isn't developing is like a bicycle. And what I mean by that is if we were to take a bicycle and we were just to push it, at some point it will lose its momentum and it will just naturally fall over. But if you keep it moving, it will stay. It will stay up. So this is something that I developed actually just to make a visual. After I went through a big self-development period myself, probably over the last year, and I read Darren Harding's book. It's called The Compound Effect. And what he talks about is making a very small difference in your life, and then as it compounds, you'll find yourself a year, 2 years down the road, very much off course of what you would have been doing if you stayed stagnant. So as you can see just by the graph, if you were to start here and make that small move, after 12 months, you're way off your original line, which is the line to the left. So again, as we develop people through development and self-development, we teach them how, I think the most important thing is we teach them how to self-develop. Because as leaders, they're looking always to be developed. They don't know how to self-develop. So how do we self-develop? What's the best thing to do? Read books. There's books. I have a lot of people that say, I can't afford books. There's books at libraries. You can get great books. Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Jack Welch has a bunch of great books out there that you'll have a lot of takeaways from. CDs, lots of CDs. Some of us spend a lot of time in the car. I know I do. I've always got, and under books and magazines, I got, my big Christmas present last year was actually getting a Success magazine. My parents asked me what I wanted. I said, that's what I want. And so when I'm traveling around up to Plattsburgh or down towards Poughkeepsie, I'm always listening to the CD over and over and over again. Videos through YouTube, they're huge. I mean, you can find anything from a minute to 10 minutes, and they're really intense, and they're good, and they're professional. And so people that come up and say, I really don't have the time, I usually send them through YouTube, because it's good. And here's the challenge, and you probably have heard this before: if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. And it's true. If you don't make any kind of movement at all, you'll just you'll stay stagnant. So as far as opportunities, there was a story that I got through, and this was through a Jim Rohn, and he talked about the story of the farmhand sleeping when the wind blows. And there was a farmer that was trying to find help, and he went and interviewed people, and he said, why should I hire you? And the new helper, the applicant, if you will, said, because I can sleep when the storm comes. And the farmer said, I don't understand. He said, just trust me, I can sleep when the storm comes. And so, as the story goes, the farmer ended up hiring him. And then all of a sudden there was a storm one day, and stuff was blowing all around, and he ran out to go see what was going on, and he found the farm help sleeping. And he said to him, you're sleeping? He says, oh yes, I've done everything to prepare for the storm. Now I can sleep when the storm comes. And so that's preparing yourself for that opportunities of success, which is self-development. Which another quote that I like is, the surfer doesn't create the waves, but what a good surfer does is he or she interacts with the wave to create the outcome that they desire. And a red onion that's not cored properly. So, to start the development process, the self-development process, I wrote a blog, actually. I have my own blog, but one of the things that I talked about on the blog was comparing yourself to an onion. We all start off, we all come into the world as a core, okay? And as we progress through life, we create these layers through experiences. And I'll give you a funny, I'm going to use our example last night. I don't know if you noticed it. Zach and I we went back to the hotel, and we were going to get in the hot tub. There was somebody in the hot tub, and Zach and I said, I don't know if I want to get in the hot tub. I don't know the guy or whatever. So the guy ended up leaving, and we sat down. We were talking, and all of a sudden this kid gets in the hot tub with us, and he's like, hi, how are you? And he's like all fired up, and I'm thinking to myself, this is just going back to what I'm going to say tomorrow, because he hasn't experienced a part of that onion. He's still in the core stage. There's nothing to be afraid of at that point. And the funny part is, as you look at yourself as an onion and start peeling away, you really were meant to do something. And as we gain those experiences again, we create those layers that we think is protecting us, but is actually holding us back from opportunity. And we take care of those layers through self-development. And now, to finish things up, the number one thing that will hold you back from being successful is emotions. And it's our emotions that keep us not thoroughly engaged, I would say. So one of the challenges that we have with our staff and ourselves is to just accept emotions as part of the process. I'll give you a perfect example. Many successful people think that persistence is a long drawn. Oh, persistence! Oh my gosh, it's going to take long. It's good. Whereas many successful people just think it's part of the process of getting where they need to go. So it's not that the successful person doesn't acknowledge persistence, they just see it different emotionally.